we had started a course about 2 months back, the same course, and there was comparatively a very good response. And in fact, some of them said, and then I got some requests from outside. In fact, many said that today they are not able to come, they may come next week. So that's why this is the course which we are doing for the second time, the introductory course. Now, religion is such a thing that it is very vast. And in a limited this thing, we have to select topics. So I have selected certain topics for the Zoroastrian Way of Life course, whereby some basic aspects of the religion we know. There are several aspects, but what are the most basic aspects? First of all, what is religion? What is God? What is prophet? Who am I? Everything starts from who am I? And as you rightly pointed out, because we are so much connected with prayers, what are prayers? Because बच्चा है सबसे पहली चीज जो सिखवाई है prayers सिखवा दर्शन को. So what are prayers? The custody prayers, and then certain basic practices. So these are the things that we will be dealing with in this course. Religion is such a thing that, as just now only it was said that Navjot aapne jaldi tha we have to start early inculcating religion in the children. And at that time, because we don't have answers to all their questions, because it is something that is forced upon them in a certain manner, right from the beginning, a negative approach to religion starts, which sometimes for some people goes on for a lifetime. Almost, will you please have a sound on the network? So it may go on for a lifetime. Fortunately, some people may get a liking for religions even without understanding they are comfortable in practicing. There is a very big blessing if you can do something without asking question and if you are happy about it. But then there is another aspect that because we have to do, we have to do. So not by choice, but either out of a sort of a, because everybody is doing it, so I have to do it. There is sort of an attitude, it's our religion follow, but there is nothing wrong in that. But then the joy of religion is missing. The joy of practice is missing. What you actually should get out of religion, which today we will be discussing, that is missing. So to get the most out of, like even in life you always say, okay, whatever you have, try to get the maximum. Kari bank Saudi best interest target. Try to go to that bank. Why not get that 0.5% more? So that concept is not wrong, it is not bad. Similarly for religion also. If you are practicing it in the best possible manner, try to get the best out of it. And so this course has been devised for that purpose. This first introductory course. Now, we all are very fortunate to have been born in the Zoroastrian religion. It is not just something to tell each other. You pat each other's back. You are great, I am great. It's not like that. Zoroastrian religion has been universally regarded as the oldest religion with a very profound philosophy and with very deep spirituality. And all those who have come in contact with our religion, and almost, because ours is the oldest religion, almost all other religions have come into contact with it. Because our civilization was the central civilization in the world, most of the other civilizations have come into contact with it. And that's why Zoroastrian religion is something which is very well known. How old is our religion is a matter of debate. And generally there are many matters of debate. So, it is up to each one of us. We will discuss in this course why there are different viewpoints. That is, I personally believe that we are at least, our Master Zoroastrian religion is at least 10,000 years old. So, in that 10,000 years old, 90% of the time we have been staying in Central Asia. And 10% of the time, then we have migrated to other parts of the world. But 90% we have been in this this thing, Central Asia. Now the language, hence the language of that our religious texts are written are very old and ancient, and hence even 2000 years back, even 3000 years back, our Avesta language was already a dead language, already a forgotten language. And so, right from that time, right since the time our Sasanian kings were ruling, and even before that, things were open to interpretations. Our religious texts were open to interpretations. Translations were of course necessary, but translations were open to interpretation. And hence, we say that there is nothing concrete. Everybody translates the religion in a different way. But then, to a certain extent, it is inevitable because the language is very old. And there is a good point to it, because new things come out of it. As people do more and more research, you must be surely aware that our religion is one of the most studied religions in the world. Not practice, but in the study of religion, it is one of the favorite of people who are studying world religions. It's one of the favorite for obvious reasons, because it is the oldest religion, because it has influenced all the other major world religions, and thirdly, because it is still a living religion. So for this reason, it is still studied, and some beautiful aspects of it do come out even today. Now, religion has got two aspects. It's knowledge, information, its spirituality, and another aspect is its practice. So on one hand, the knowledge, information, and the general universal rules in a way are open to all. But the practice is limited to the people who are of the ethnic origin. So there is a big difference. As I said, there are numerous people who are studying our religion. None of them want to follow the religion. They just try to understand it, relish its philosophy, admire it, all those aspects. But they are not saying it will practice it. So much so that they even want to recite the prayers in their own way, without, like they can recite the prayer because they are fluent with the language, they can recite the prayers. But they don't say that I'll do it as a Zoroastrian. They just enjoy reciting the prayers. Now, the word religion is a very deep word. Religion comes from the two Latin words re and leg, which means to bring together. So religion in a way is something which should always unify, which should bring together. Now what should it unify? Whatever has become separate, whatever is divided, whatever has become divisible, that has to be united. And one of the first things that has been divided is the spiritual world and the material world. We as human beings have been separated from God. And of course we all need to go back to God after a certain point of time. So what religion is telling us is to bring back, even when we are living separately from Him, to bring back man and God together. And that is what religion is about, bonding together, bringing together. And then, that is not possible till we are whole in our own self. If we are fragmented, we cannot be whole with anything else. So then it tries to bond us, ourselves, together as a whole. It tries to bond us with other creations. So everywhere, the point is that religion should unite. In fact, in our Kemnamaza prayer, the religion is defined by 4 words. And the first word is, sorry, not Kemnamaza, Jasamyamagamaza prayer. And the first word is Fraspayo Kedra. Fraspayo Kedra means progress on account of unity. It's a beautiful phrase, a beautiful idea. The progress on account of unity. So that aspect the term religion tells us. But we also use we Parsis, though they are loan words, we have borrowed it from different perhaps languages like dharma. We also say Jathosi dharma. So dharma is not originally our own word. We have borrowed it from Sanskrit, where originally it means duty or obligation. So originally it is fulfilling of a duty or obligation. It's a duty and obligation are always two-sided. We have a duty towards God, we have an obligation to fulfill, once again not just God but even creations. So as in religion we have to unite, here we have to respond. In the concept of dharma, we have to fulfill our duty to Him, fulfill our obligations to Him, and in the same way get our rights from Him. Only if you do your duty, you get your rights. So dharma gives that idea. You fulfill your duty. In fact, our sadrani under the gareban, the gildo that is there on the back. That gildo is to remind us of our duties. Duties to God, duties to our own self, duties to our family, duty to our society. All sorts of duties have to be addressed. There is another word for religion, deen. Muslims also use the word deen, but actually deen is a Zoroastrian word. We have gone into their language. Now deen is a very beautiful word. It comes from original avastha dena. આપણે પ્રેયરમાં જસમે અંગે મસ્તમાં we say denia ongya mazdes noise. Hymno kalmo which we recite in the time of Navjot, there we say denia ongya mazdes noise. Means a good mazdes ni religion. The word dena in later language became deen. And the word deen comes from deen to see. If you know Gujarati, you must have heard the word disvu. It's old Gujarati. Generally grandparents, we generally now it is not used, but then disvu. There is a phrase called dore ditu venture. These are old phrases, but then the word di is to see. And that same word is over here in di, to see. But here it is not outside, here it is to look inside. So Dini under the concept of di is to look inside, to see within, to introspect, to ask questions. Ours is a religion of question and answer. Ours is a religion where questions are worshipped. Because question, they have all the right to ask questions. Because Jantos Sahib also asked questions and he got the answers. So you cannot know without asking questions. Of course, Jantos Sahib's questions, कोई answer नहीं कर सक्यों, that he finally went to the last frontier, God. I'll go to God to get my answers. Because neither his parents, nor his teachers, nor anybody else were able to answer his questions. But asking, looking inside, introspecting is also religion. So there's different words for religion are telling us how we should tackle religion. If you use the word religion, it means be united, be harmonious. If you are using dharma, it means duty and obligation. And if you are using the word deen, then you introspect, you look within, you ask questions. Now, if we are really wanting to understand the religion, anything, if you want to do properly, it has to be systematic. And a systematic study of religion involves three aspects. Any religion we need to study, it has got three aspects. One is ethics. The second are the teachings. And the third are the practices. You can very well separate the three. Now, teaching ethics are there in all the religions. And they are saying, no religion worth its salt will tell us to be unethical. Of course, the emphasis keeps on differing. Christianity would emphasize love. Zoroastrianism would emphasize asha, which in one way means truth. Hinduism says dharma. Another religion would say ahimsa. So every religion has got a different favorite ethic. But all religions are ethical and ethics are free to follow. Some people say that yes, good thoughts, good words, good deeds are an important message of the religion. It should not be considered as the message, but an important message. They are free to be followed by anybody. Who cannot have good thoughts, who cannot have good words, who cannot have good deeds. So ethics are free to be followed. Teachings are exclusive because they have come down to us through a sort of historical continuity. So teachings are specific to different religions. One religion will ask you not to kill anything. Another religion says, harmful things can be killed. So what will you do? You have to do what your religion is telling. One religion will tell you fast. Another religion will tell you no, don't do any austerity on the body. So different religion, one religion will tell you go barefoot. You cannot wear slippers. Another religion will tell you no, you can't pray without slippers. So these are what we call teachings of the religion, which they are based on the worldview of the religion. The world is not different, but the view of the world is different. It's like you are on a ship on different decks. You are watching the same scenario, but from different decks, the scenario is different for each one. Each one. The reality is the same, but the perception is different. And on that perception are based the practices. So practices, rites, rituals, all these are part of practices, prayers, so all these become exclusive. So that's why different religions are different. The concept of gods are different. God is one, but the perception of God, the concept of God are different. Now you may ask that we have been following the religion right since childhood. As I said, बच्चा नहीं नवजोत है तो ठीक बच्चा ने तो केवला में आवे धर्म पालो आवड़े के नहीं आवड़े पालो. So what are the benefits of being religious? If this thing could be inculcated or if one can understand it, then the benefits of following religion will be benefit and joy of following the religion will be more. First of all, religion will tell you where you fit into the world. The identity issue is a very great issue, and somewhere in your life we come across our own identity issues. So religion in a great way helps us to address the identity issue. Who are you? How are you related to the rest of the world? How are you related to the rest of the human beings? How are you related to God? So all these are what we call the worldview. And the religion tells us about cosmology. Cosmology means how the universe was created, how human beings were created, how this material world was created. It tells us about God, it tells us about our prophet. And that is how we find our place in the world. And once we are comfortable with that place and position, we will be comfortable with other things. So, one of the greatest benefits of religion is it will show you your place in the world. Secondly, it will show you that this life is not purposeless. This life is beautiful, it has got a meaning and it has got a purpose. Why do generally youth stray away in life? Stray away because they don't find a purpose. Because they don't focus, they don't feel that their life has got any meaning. So it's very important to find a meaning to life, to find a purpose to life. And each person will not find that individual purpose. It's a very difficult thing. But religion tells you your general purpose. And once you follow the general purpose, the individual purpose will gradually open up. But then if you don't even know the general purpose, then you may just go anywhere and never ever never ever have the benefit of finding your own purpose. Because if you are not in the bigger picture, you will not come into the smaller picture. So the important thing is that you have to have a bigger purpose of life which your religion will teach us. Then self-knowledge, our who am I? Whether I am a mind, whether I am a soul, if I am a good person, why am I having bad thoughts? If I am a bad person, why am I having good thoughts? Why am I sometimes good and sometimes bad? What is controlling me when I sometimes want to do something, even then I can't do it, and sometimes I don't want to do something, even then I have to do it. So who am I? What is governing me? So that self-knowledge is also important, which our religion will give us. And that comes from the concept of man, which is one of the topics which we will be dealing in the course. Then, as I said, we are separated from God. But God has not left us like that. He has sent us for a purpose. And He has given us something by which we can link ourselves to Him, connect ourselves to Him. And that connection is the prayer. So prayer has got lots of purposes, one of which is to connect us back to our original home. And this aspect also will be dealing in our course, what are prayers. Then there is an identity issue. We saw identity from a spiritual point of view. Now identity from a material point of view, history. From where have I come, which geographical location, which people can I relate to. Like if you know the history, you know how we are related to the Indians also. If you know history, you know how we are related to the Europeans also. But for that, you need to know history, your religious history. And in fact, our religion and almost all religion, the history of the religion is very intimately connected with the religion. So without knowing the religious history, you will not properly understand the religion. You will have to see it in a proper perspective. Another aspect is self-confidence. You all know it is very necessary. Whether it is in the own house, to exert yourself with your parents, or with your spouse, or in office, where you have to exert yourself with the superiors. But self-confidence is very necessary. And that self-confidence comes when we know that we are not alone. That we are with divine beings. That we have powers within us which we can always reach out to. So, religion will also give us self-confidence. Then there is another aspect, the most important aspect, happiness. All human beings crave for happiness in their life. In fact, it is believed to be the fundamental right of every human being. The Americans say that happiness is the fundamental right of all human beings, which is correct. But unfortunately, we don't exactly know how to follow it, how to get it. So happiness, our religion is something which is focused on happiness. After Ashram જે બનીએ તેની અંદર the word Ushta comes. The word Ushta comes in Ashram. Ushta means internal happiness. When we say the Ammai Rasha, we come across the word Khatren. Khatren is another word for happiness. And there are several words for happiness in our religion. Ram Yazar. Ram Yazar is the Yazar of joy. So joy, happiness, pleasure, all these are aspects of life in which the religion, the legitimate, if you get it legitimately, you have got all the right to be happy. So we will also try to find out how to get happiness, and religion helps us to get that happiness. And finally, purpose to live. And the best purpose to live is for your own self, not being selfish. For living for your own self, I don't mean being selfish, but if you can work with your own self without bothering others, then you will get a purpose that even without reaching out to anybody, like if you are reading, if you are praying, if you are thinking, all this is for self-evolution. And religion expects that we evolve. And if we are following the religious way of life, we will definitely evolve. And how do we know that we evolve? Only we will know. Because one day when we feel that, yeah, when our mindset keeps on changing, when our understanding of the world changes, when we try to become more understanding and more tolerant, All these things show that we are changing, we are evolving, and that is necessary. Because all of us are born with certain basic things. Like how a child, when he goes to school and when he leaves the school, the difference that is noticed, the same way has to be the difference when we enter life and when we exit life. And even at certain points in life. It's not at 40 you have to have the same ideas and intelligence and intellect that you will be having at 50. No. Then life is of no purpose if you are not evolving. So evolving is also an important aspect of religion. Okay, here we take a short break in the sense that if there is any point to discuss up till now that we have come across, if there is any brief comment or question, then we can leave it. Okay, so I have the permission to proceed? Yes. Now there is a short prayer in our religion. જે આપણે બાજવા ભણીએ છીએ. આપણે બધી ન્યાસશાસ્ત્રોમાં લગભગ બધી ન્યાસશાસ્ત્રોમાં આવે ઔરમઝ પટેલ આવાજની મર્દુમ સર્વદા. In that prayer, we say that I can reach God by Agahi, Astamani and Neki. So, the three important things for being religious, reaching God means being religious, are Agahi, that is knowledge, Astamani, that is faith, and Neki, that is goodness. Now, knowledge is very essential. Because without knowledge, all the things that we saw in the previous part, like self-identity, evolution, self-confidence is not possible till you have proper knowledge. So, Agahi or knowledge is very essential and proper knowledge. Then the second aspect is faith in that knowledge. Because to put something into practice, you require faith in it. You have to make it a part of your belief system, which should come out automatically to you. Whatever it is. Like there is a very well-known story about a person saying that telling God, I have full faith in you. And when God tells him to do something, he says, no, I can't do it. But so that is what we generally say, yeah, I have full faith in God, but it's just to the extent of saying. And if God says, okay, jump from first floor, he said, no, I will not jump. I'm not saying this to take it literally, but that sort of implicit faith has to be there in what we are saying. Like, આપણે કહે છે કે હમણાં તો એક તકલીફ આવશે પણ તકલીફ ખમી રહ્યો તો આગળ જતા હેપીનેસ આવશે but we don't agree કે no તકલીફ કાંઈ આવે તકલીફ નહીં આવવી જોઈએ તકલીફ આવી that means God has forsaken me. So that amount of faith which is necessary to get you through is not there. But our religion, Zoroastrian religion says that when bad things happen, at that time if you have got faith in religion, or faith in Auramazda, then Ahriman gets defeated. And that misfortune will take you to a better life. Even if it is a misfortune at that point of time, if you have at that point of time keep faith in God and proceed, then it is a defeat of Ahriman and it will take you one step closer to God. And they have given several instances to show that. So that's why knowledge is necessary, but it is almost of no value if you can't have faith on that knowledge. Belief in that knowledge. And finally, goodness is also necessary, because whatever you do, the bottom line should be that it is for the good of others as well as your own self and the whole world. Because in Zoroastrian religion we see the whole world as one thing. The whole world is moving towards Prashokariti. Okay? There is no individual salvation. Individual soul to salvation is there. But now Prashokariti namaste, everything has to move ahead. So we have to take everything together. So unless and until there is goodness, we can't take everything together with us. We can't say I alone will progress and everything else can stay. Because everything else is to the material world को जे आपने जे कहिए the final transition will come together for everything. So goodness is necessary for that purpose. Now there are different ways. If you know, if you have heard in the Hindu religion, it's a very common in Hindu philosophy. That's why I am saying it first, because Zoroastrian religion, I concept is not yet more evolved or developed. But there are different ways to follow religion. There are different ways and approaches to God and religion. And this we get in our 4 words which are often repeated in our prayers. Yasnaicha, Brahmaicha, Shnautraicha, Prasastaicha. Right from Saroshbach to anything and everything that you will pray, you will come across this 4 important words. Now, Yasnaicha is worship. Yasna is worship. Worship means connecting to something. Either physical or spiritual, but connecting to something. So, this is one way of connecting, of approaching religion. Which in the Hindu philosophy is called Rajma. That means practice. The second word that we come across is Vamaicha. And Vamma means love or adoration. The emotional aspect. Which in the Hindu philosophy is Bhakti, devotion, love. So that aspect is also needs to be there. When we discuss goodness, unless we have adoration for people, unless we have devotion, goodness will not come. The third approach is Shnautraicha. Now the word Shnautraicha means pleasure or happiness. Pleasure or happiness of Auramasta. We start all our prayers by saying Shnautra Auramasta. Means I am doing this for the happiness of Auramasta. So Auramasta is happy if our actions are what he likes. We also say Shnautra Auramasta Karoyitya Angremeku. Means I will keep away from Angremeku and try to please Auramasta. So another approach to religion is action. And the last that we already saw is knowledge. Knowledge about religion. Gnan. And that is Prasastayaj. Now all 4 are essential and important. We can have more emphasis on any one. Some people are more rational. They would like knowledge-based approach to religion and life. But that does not mean that you can do away with the worship aspect. Some people are highly worship-oriented. They would like to pray for hours. That is good enough. Because such people are more bhakti-oriented also, love-oriented also. Those who are prayer-oriented are more emotional. But that does not mean that you can't be rational or you don't have to be rational, or it's okay if you don't have knowledge. Some people are very good social workers. Throughout their day they are doing this, that and helping others. But then they neglect prayer, saying that we are doing good deeds. So there is no need for prayer. But actually religion says that all these are necessary and important, because whereas one can be your weapon against evil, the other has to be a shield against evil. And both the things are essential. You can't say I can only fight but not defend myself. Or I can only defend but not fight. Both the approaches have to be there. So it has to be an all-round approach to religion. We need to have knowledge. We need to act karma. We need to have goodness, love, and we also need to have prayer aspect, ritual aspect. All 4 will have to go hand in hand if we want to be a balanced person. Be balanced in the religious understanding. Unfortunately, religion is something after religion to name the age, the people are sometimes allergic to it. We find that. In at least Bombay, we see there are so many religious lectures are this thing, but you see the people, the very few people who are attracted to it. Because generally people believe that, first of all, people believe that religion is required only at the end of life. you don't require it at the beginning of life. And even if you think you need it, you don't have the time for it. It's like saying that I have got lots of work, so I won't eat, I won't sleep, I won't drink, I won't bathe, I won't exercise because I've got lots of work to do. So neglecting religion is like that however much we have to do in life, if we are neglecting this aspect of life, religion, which as we have seen is very necessary and essential, and it has got something for every aspect of our life, whether it's relationships, whether it's job, whether it's our own self, our own self-confidence, it will help us in every aspect. But unfortunately, religion has become a bad name because we are only seeing part of religion and not the religion as whole. Unfortunately, those who may not know religion properly, say for example some grandparents, they sometimes force something on the child, which then becomes, the child becomes averse. There does not mean the grandparent has any bad intention. The intentions are always good, but for some wrong reasons, religion has got a bad name. Generally, children run away from religion, name of religion. First of all, because for children it's a boring thing. It's something which is forced upon. And anything which is boring and forced upon is something which is not very much appreciated. So, right from the beginning, if a religious approach to religion is something that is like, how you say a word like a movie or a party, and there is a glint in the eye, there is a spark of happiness. So when that will happen for religion, then I think the positive side of religion will start coming up. And when people don't give religion a bad name, when they don't show one small aspect of religion as the religion. Many people say there have been wars for religion. Religion is the cause of so many deaths. But that's so wrong. Because it's not religion, but it's a misunderstanding of religion. It is a lack of religion which is the result of all this. Not a proper understanding of religion. But what do people say? It's because of religion these things are happening. So religion is bad. So religion has thus got a bad name. There's a writer called Samuel Colton who had said, people write for religion, people fight for religion, people die for religion, but people don't live for it. So people are ready, yes, I will fight and die for religion. It's easy, comparatively perhaps. But to live the life of religion, which your religion is comparatively much difficult than dying for the religion in one instance. So, we have to see that once again religion starts getting a good name. Now we use different words for religion. The original word for religion is Mazda-Yasni. Our religion was originally Mazda-Yasni religion. After hundreds of years, Prophet Zarathustra came and modified the Mazda-Yasni. I would not even say Mazda-Yasni was a religion, it was a belief system. Because religion requires a prophet. So Mazda-Yasni was a belief system. After hundreds of years, Prophet Zarathustra came and crystallized it into Mazda-Yasni Zarathustra religion. So today what we are is, we are Mazda-Yasni Zarathustra. Hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, a person called Gayomar got a revelation from Mazda, and that started the Mazda-Yasni belief system. And all those who followed him were called Mazda-Yasnis, and those who did not follow him, or those who did not believe in Mazda, or those who believed in polytheistic and animistic things were called Devyastas. So those who worshipped Mazda were Mazda-Yasnis. In the Mazda-Yasni system, there are many Socians. Socians are mini prophets who just keep adding on to the system. So we have great kings like Hoshan, Deburas, Jamshed, Faredu. All these added on something or the other to the religion. And then it started developing. And so the Mazdaistic belief system became the dominant faith till the time when evil also started developing on the other end, and it became so out of control that Zarathustra had to come. And so he crystallized the Mazdaistic Zarathustra religion. So that's why in Jasamya Avamazda we say Mazdaisno Ammi, Mazdaisno Zarathustra. And first a Mazdaisni and then a Mazdaisni Zarathustra. And the other word that we refer to ourselves is Parsi.
Parsi.
Yeah. Pars is a province in Iran. And our great kings like Cyrus, Darius and Ardashir came from Pars. They were small kings of this small province called Pars. Then they became emperors. And some of them even ruled 2/3 of the whole world. But still they considered themselves Parsas because they were originally from Pars. So the term Parsa gave an ethnicity and religion. So Darius the Great called himself Parsa. Ardashir Babakan calls himself a Parsa. And that's why their subjects, their followers all call themselves Parsas. So that's why we came to be known as Parsis, and more after coming from Iran to India about 1300 years back, because to show the difference in ethnicity as well as religion, we refer to ourselves as Parsis. And those who stayed there in Iran, they came to be known as Iranis. Now those Iranis came to India, Bombay and India about 100 and 200 years back for different reasons. They still came to be referred to as Iranis rather than Parsis, because in the 1300 years that we were in India, we had adopted a lot of not customs, but a lot of traits, I would rather say traits, which were Indian. And that's why we continue being called Parsis and those people continue being called Iranis. But Parsi is something which has to relate to the ethnicity as well as the religion. Many a times it is erroneously believed that it is just ethnicity. It is not just ethnicity, it's ethnicity as well as religion. Now we come to our very own Zoroastrian religion, why it is considered so unique. Why we should feel very proud about it in our heart. Not just say I am proud about the religion, not just wear a t-shirt saying I am proud about my religion, but really feeling, and not out of vanity, but out of pure historical facts. First of all, it's the oldest religion. Secondly, it's the first monotheistic religion. That is the first religion which taught to believe in one God, only one God. It is the first prophet in the world. Then, it is a religion which was ahead of its time, though it was the first religion, because it taught freedom of choice. Now, this freedom of choice is often misunderstood and misrepresented. Freedom of choice is the freedom to choose our course in life between good and evil. That's the freedom of choice that Prophet Zarathustra has given us. We are not people of commandments. That's what freedom of choice means. That a sort of a responsibility has been put on us. No commandment has been put on us. Thou should do this and thou should not do that. That sort of a commandment has not been put on us. We have been given a choice and we have been told, if you choose good, this is your reward. If you choose evil, this is your punishment. But finally, you choose after thinking. So ours is a religion which much ahead of time gave men a duty and a responsibility. Then it has a special status for fire. Like in Zoroastrian religion, when we talk of fire, we all know that people refer to it as fire worship. But fire, when Zoroastrians say fire, it means energy. It does not mean just a burning fire. Because in Zoroastrian scriptures, when they talk of fire, they talk of several things. First of all, the divine energy of God is also called fire. The energy in the atmosphere is also called fire. The warmth in the human body is called fire. Lightning is fire. So fire is there in each and everything. It is latent in everything. Every atom is fire because every atom has movement. And wherever there is movement, there is some amount of energy. Wherever there is movement, there is some amount of heat. So when we talk of fire, it is not just the burning fire that we see, which you can easily ignite from a matchstick, but it is the all-encompassing concept of heat and energy. Then we have a beautiful concept of nature which is unique, because our concept of nature in a beautiful manner connects us to the creations, to the divine beings, to our ethical self, our moral self, and to divine beings, to Yazals and Ameshas. So Zoroastrian religion is a unique concept of nature. And it is more or less in the concept of Ameshas. It is also there beyond it, but in the concept of Ameshas, Zoroastrianism has given us a very beautiful concept of nature. Then Zoroastrianism has a cosmic character. Cosmic character means whatever is there in the universe at the macro level is reflected in a human being at a micro level. Like we talked about fire just now. Fire is there outside, but there is a fire inside us. We talked about mind, there is divine mind, Auramasta's mind, Vahumana, divine consciousness. But there is also our own mind, our own mind. So everything that is without, there is within. There is energy all around, but there is energy inside us also. So everything works at the macro and micro level, and the beauty lies in connecting the two. So that is another unique aspect of the religion. Another unique aspect of the religion is its concept of Asha. There is no word in English language which can easily translate the word Asha. A similar word comes in Sanskrit, but it's not exactly same, but to a certain extent, is Rita. Rita or Ruta. And still another concept in the Oriental philosophy is Tao. T-A-O, pronounced as Tao. So these are words which come close to Asha, but there is no one word. So that's why, and Asha is one of the most occurring words in our Avestan text and Avestan scriptures in several forms. Ashen, Ashahe, Ashaun, Ashavane, several forms this word is used. And generally it is translated as holiness and righteousness, which is just but one aspect of the term. And that's why it's too difficult to totally understand the text of the scriptures. The term Asha in its cosmic sense means the divine plan of God at a macro level. And at a personal level, at a micro level, it's the plan of God which God has for us. It's our personal, a blueprint of our life. That is Asha. And why it is translated as truth? Because the word Asha comes from Avasta root Ar, which means to go on a right path, to move on the right path. So only when one is going with the flow, on the right path, can we find the purpose of life. If we are going against the flow, we are just fighting with ourselves. And that is why all the three of our basic prayers, Ashemo, Yathaviryo, and Yengyata, has the word Asha in it. In fact, Ashemo is all about Asha. In the first line of Yathaviryo, we have Asha. And in Yengyata, we have Asha. So it's the basic concept of our religion. In fact, God does not play dice, it's been very famously said. God has a plan. God did not create the world at random. So according to our religion, Obramasta first had a thought, Brahman. Brahman means thought to create, and then he created a plan that is Ardilist. Ardilist no avastha word is Asha Vahishta. So first was Auramasta, who was always there, then he had a thought, and then he had a plan, and then everything came forward. So that's why the concept of Asha is very basic to our religion. It's beyond the worlds. Finally, there is another beautiful concept of Raya and Khorena in our religion. Rayaman and Khorena. 101 number which है. And whenever we invoke Auramasta in Auramasyast or wherever else, whenever priest invoke him in a Darshan Afadan, they say Auramasta or Rayamanto Kharenangato or Dada Auramasta Rayaman Khorena. These two words always go with Auramasta. Raya is the divine intelligence of Auramasta. Today we know about cellular intelligence. Today we know that every cell is intelligent by itself, and that makes the whole organism intelligent because there is intelligence at cellular level. So that is the divine intelligence, that is the Raya of Auramasa, and we can tune to it. That's the best part of religion. If you can take your mind to a certain level, you can tune into that intelligence. And the second concept is divine energy. Auramasa's energy, Khorena. He is only made up of energy. And that also we have to connect. So these two concepts are very important part of Zoroastrian religion. These are concepts which make our religion unique. Many a times we are told that what is there in our religion which is not there in other religions. These aspects may be there, but the way it is treated is totally different and unique. The way it is connected in one whole. And finally, the concept of mind. You know, whatever we are or whatever we will be is only because of the mind. It's how you use it, or whether you use it, or don't use it, or misuse it, everything will depend on that. Whether you will go to heaven or hell will depend on it. Whether you will be happy or sad will depend on it. Whether you are rich or poor will depend on it. Everything will depend on the mind. And Zoroastrianism has a beautiful concept of mind. As I told you, Brahman is mind. So important is mind that Dada Varmaspati Tarak Brahman. So the mind is given great importance in Zoroastrian religion, and if we understand the mind and understand its working and understand how to best use it, then we will be getting the best out of religion. Now, what are the basic concept of the Zoroastrian? What is the basic concept of Zoroastrian religion? Again, after flower and Mazdes from Zarathustra, Shridevo, Avrat, Kesho, Banyej, in every game, Yash and Yash, then we say that I profess myself to be a Mazdes Zarathustra who is Videvo and Avrat Kesho. Videvo is one who always keep against all negativities, all Devic things, and Avrat Kesho is one who always follows all life-enhancing positive things. So that is the bottom line of the Zoroastrian. Who is a Zoroastrian? The Zoroastrian is always Videvo, is against everything that is negative and for everything that is positive. And that's why this concept keeps coming again and again. Like our Kastika Jala Prashnaum to Auren Asao, Taro Ita English Bole. The same concept is coming. Aurat Videvo and Aurat Krishna concept, Tag will be average. So this is the basis of our religion. Now there are certain misconceptions. Before we go on to studying the religion, let us Swachhata Abhiyan Chale Chanda Bhagava. So let us just sweep away the misconceptions. The first misconception is that Zoroastrian religion is only about good thoughts, good words and good deeds. So it's okay if you only have good thoughts, good words and good deeds. And many people have heard saying that. The good thoughts, good words and good deeds are important, very important components of the religion. But every religion teaches you good thoughts, good words and good deeds. So our religion does not have a monopoly over it. We may be having these three words. And second and most important thing is, okay, in our 19th chapter of the Yasna, there is a mind-blowing thing which comes. It gives a totally different definition of Humata Ukta Vashta from what we know. So generally, Humata Ukta and Vashta is not what we keep on saying, good thoughts, good words, good deeds. It is something totally different. This 19th chapter of Yasna is telling us that what is Humata? Humata is the first thought of God. The first thought of God, if you understand that, that is Humata. And if you follow that, if we are able to follow the first thought of God, which we discussed. So, Humata is the first thought of God. Then, second question is asked, what is Ukta? And we are told, Ukta is Matra Spenta, means words of prayers are Ukta. So, any platitude that you give, today it's a day of platitude, age of platitude. You just have to say good things, nice things, turn your back and then just But here says that is not good words. Good words is when you recite Matra Spenta. That is good words. And what is good deeds? So we are told taking care of all creations is good deeds. Right from the beginning of the world, every creation se care karwana. That is good deeds. So generally, the concept is very deep. It's not just that I think अच्छा राजा है, मैंने ₹5 आपके हमारे गुड डीड दे दियो, मैं विचार नहीं करके ₹5 आपको दे हमारे गुड काम दे दियो, मैं यार most welcome तो हमारे गुड वर्क दे दियो, चल हमारे काम को वाच. It's not that. And second thing, we have already discussed about freedom of choice. That's another misconception. Many people say, I can wear the sarda if I want because my religion has given me freedom of choice. I can wear the kasti if I want. I may marry whoever I want. There is freedom of choice in our religion. Good, there is freedom of choice. But you have to read the whole stanza of freedom of choice, Yasna 30.2, and then you come to know that the freedom of choice is between good and evil. Only between good and evil. And of course, the corollary is there that then face the consequences also. So that is the freedom of choice in our religion, and not freedom of choice. So that what is the need for the Prophet to come and teach us religion? We could have chosen anything. So freedom of choice is another unfortunate misconception. But these concepts are there, but they are interpreted wrong. Selectively. Not wrong, selectively. Finally, before concluding, we see that many people, including our own selves, may not be able to follow religion for different reasons. First of all is ignorance, which is very valid because there is a lack of religious material, books, teachers, etc. We have to try and rectify it in our own way. Second is fear or shame. Fear or shame because we are in a minority and because of our ignorance. We don't have self-pride. We are not able to justify things. We are not able to justify ourselves. So there is fear and shame. And this is more among children than grown-ups. Then there is lethargy also. There is lethargy of practicing. But if there is a joy, then that lethargy may go away. If there is a legitimate joy in doing the thing, if the thing itself is a reward in itself, doing the thing, then the lethargy aspect will not be there. Then there is this indifference. Indifference is when we are, generally it is often said that religion is meant for the middle class. Because neither the too poor care for it, nor the too rich care for it. Because the too poor are already too much into damnation, and the too rich are everything. It's a middle class. So, that indifference creeps up either when we are too low or too high. But Zoroastrian religion talks about balance and moderation. And so, whether we are very rich, whether we are very wealthy, or whether we are down in the dumps, once again, if the right attitude to religion is there, that religion is more about wealth, more about external happiness. It's not about sorrow, it's not about pain. It is how to be beyond that and above that. things also go away. So the right approach to religion will gradually keep these impediments out of our way. And finally, a very, very interesting thing is happening. It's not happening only today. It was happening even in Iran. You know, you must have known that there were heresies in Sassanid times also. Heresies, some people could make their own religion. Manikism, Mazdakism, Zoroastrianism. These were heresies, which were later put down very strongly by our kings. They tried for a certain time, but they were put down. So what are these? They are concoctions of different philosophies. And many people today also, they take something from here, something from here, something from here, something from there, and create their own religious understanding, which is sometimes very harmful.
The Zairis also the same.
Pardon?
Zairis, in the Turkish area.
Yazidis. Yeah, but they are an established religion. They have taken, like that other religions also have borrowed from our religion. It is historically known that Christianity has also adopted from our religion. Judaism. So like adopting certain aspects being adopted by the prophet or the religious teachers is another aspect. I am talking of you and me, people like you and me, taking something here from here because it's interesting and knowing where your bread is buttered and taking that aspect selectively from that part, taking something here from this aspect. So that is something which is a trend even nowadays, that Sassanid times are coming back. So that is something which we should keep away from and be rooted in our own religion. Ramakrishna Paramahansa very famously said, when somebody had complained that I am not getting the best out of my religion. I am not getting anything out of my religion. And I am not getting anything out of other religions also. So Ramakrishna said that if you want water, you have to dig deep. If you just dig 5 feet and say there is no water, then dig another 5 feet and say there is no water, you should dig 15 feet at the same place and not 5 feet at 3 different places. You dig 15 feet at one place and you will definitely find water. I think same holds true for religion. If you dig deep enough, you will get what you want, or we will get what we want. But the thing is that we have to really dig deep enough, and then it starts making sense. Another aspect about religion is that efforts are necessary. Religion, you have made a first effort by coming here. But this is half the battle now. Because we get knowledge. Then knowledge has to be converted to belief. Belief has to be converted to faith. Faith has to be converted to practice. All this requires conscious efforts. Till it becomes a part of your subconscious. Once it becomes a part of your subconscious, then it will become a part of your life, a habit, a character. But till then, so as in everything else in life, it's like driving. First it requires a lot of conscious efforts. Then it becomes a part of you. And similarly, same is true for religion. First of all, it requires efforts. And we are told in the Shahnama that even Faridun, the great, the social, even he did not become great like that only. Even he did not become religious like that only. He put in a lot of efforts and then he became great. So, we'll just conclude by saying that knowing is the first aspect, understanding is the next, but then the real value will only come if it will be a part of our daily life, part of our belief system. In this course, what we'll be doing is just knowing. We can practice. Knowing and removing our doubts. Because in order for faith to come in order for belief to come in, doubts have to go out. One has to be convinced about it. Really, really convinced from within. So that's what we'll try to do in this courses. We'll try to get knowledge, we'll try to get understanding, remove our doubts and misconceptions, and then try to see if we can make the knowledge a part of our own belief system. And then we can go on the Zoroastrian way of life. Okay, thank you all very much for being part of this course. And next course, next week we'll discuss about Auramasta, God. Concept of God in general and the idea of Auramasta as we Mazdas and Zoroastrians know. Okay? Now, at the end of the course, you have the option either to leave or those who want to wait for discussions may wait for discussions. Yazgan Kara.
What is the other word? Yazgan Kara. I can't get it.
Yeah.
You have to reply to it.
Yeah, the reply to that is Devzi or Shadbad. Devzi or Shadbad. Devzi means long life. O means end, and Shad means happy. So may you have a long and happy life. Yeah, Nandavasana, but Kaudavasana means it's not part of the Kaudavasana. Many priests, they pray it as part of the Tandavasana. Yazdan Pranava Devzi or Shadbad. But actually there is a salutation. Yazdan Pranava Devzi or Shadbad. Okay. If you got any meaningful suggestions for the course or otherwise, please let me know. Okay? Mail, yeah, mail there is water also for those who require, because some people come directly from outside. So if you require,